Hello, I'm going to show you all my entry for the ENCMP 100 programming contest. So what I did is I made a game and I called it Jump because you jump. It probably exists somewhere under a different real name, but I can't think of it right now. Either way, it's kind of a combination between Flappy Bird and Swing Copters if you remember those games, but I should probably just show you. So the game starts with a screen in which you can select out of 3 difficulties. Once you enter, you have to continuously press the spacebar to jump upwards, all while dodging obstacles in different places. However, you can't stall too long because there's lava, that's lava, catches up to you to keep you on your toes. When you lose, your high score is saved and returned to you, and you can restart, exit, or reset your high scores. So there are 3 difficulties: easy, medium, and hard. Simple enough, right? So, onto the program itself. I made 6 files in total that all do different things. The background, sound effects, difficulty, obstacle, that's a class for the obstacles, jump, that's the starting file, and game loop, which is the game loop. Like, do I need to say any more? Now, all the code and ideas are my own, except for one idea about circular and rectangular collision. I had to get that online and implement it in. Generally, I made this game by developing the basic elements first, then I continued to build on. I only created new files when I felt like a task could be handled by a separate function. I'd say my greatest challenge was arranging the positions of each different block with the axes properly. Because trust me, the directions of movement, the entire scale, and the positioning of every element, it messed everything up. I mean, when I wanted something to go up, instead it decides to go down, it goes left, it goes off the screen, never where it's supposed to be. But hey, after some time and effort, everything began to fall into place, right? Now, I think the most interesting aspect is the obstacle class, which defines features for each obstacle. It defines different properties like its height, the center of its spacing, the width of its spacing, its color, things like that, right? As for the methods, though, I had to think of everything the class would need to do. So, I first created a constructor to initialize the height and the width that are passed to it, and then do other stuff with that. Of course, I also needed a draw function just to animate the actual blocks onto the screen, right? And then I had to add an intersection function to detect if the obstacle intersected with the player. I guess collided with the player. That's probably a better way to put it. But this is the idea that I had to actually look up because it involved having to find the distance between the center of the player and the closest point on the obstacle. And then I had to do some math stuff with the radius of the player and yeah. Finally, I implemented a function to move the block back and forth, but that's only for hard mode. And then, of course, we have the meat of the program. We have the game loop function, which is pretty large compared to the rest of the files. So I'll just say, first, it just initializes stuff. Then during the loop, there's a whole bunch of movements, detections, and animations. That's all I really need to say. So, in the end, this was a challenge. Learning and implementing MATLAB as a whole was a challenge, but I can say that it was well worth it. So, thank you.